Hey kiddos. All right, so for today we're going to be working on lesson 18 and 3/10, paying for college, which kind of ties into the project or the quiz that I gave you guys yesterday. The state of Texas expects you all to be able to explain various methods to pay for college, including through savings, grants, scholarships, student loans, and work study. All right, so the exploring methods to pay for college. What you do in middle school affects your future, so learning about ways to pay for college now is a good idea. The government and other organizations offer help. There are grants, usually for students who need money the most, work study programs, which allow students to earn money, and scholarships awarded to students based on achievement. All right, so unfortunate kiddos, it would have been challenging trying to get you guys to work with a partner and if both of you were responsible and that everybody had a responsible partner and that was challenging, okay? But we're learning. Anyway, so here, ladies and gentlemen, how to pay for college. There's different ways of doing it. Grants, savings, scholarships, loans, and work study. Hopefully that in your guys' research yesterday, y'all were able to actually find a bunch of information that was able to clarify that for you. Because when it comes to grants, there's not just one grant, kiddos. There's several of them. When I was at UTEP, since I was going for a math teacher, so I'm certified in math and science. Since I was going for those two or STEM, there was an extra. It's called a Teach Grant, which was $8,000 for 4 years, or broken down $2,000 every year, which I didn't have to pay back. However, as long as I did teach math or science at a Title I school for at least 4 years, which I've already done so that grant money for me was free. The geology department at UTEP, I believe, offers $1,000. Like if every geology major, they offer like $1,000, I think, per year, I believe. But there's different grants at different universities, guys. Like honestly, let me see. At UTEP, there's also one called the UTEP Promise. I believe it's considered a grant. But that, ladies and gentlemen, it's like if your household, like where you guys live at, if your family makes less than $40,000 or like something like that, they pretty much pay for all your tuition and your fees. Like they'll pay for everything pretty much. But your household has to earn, like everybody who lives at your house or who claims income tax or pays taxes and they have your address listed, it has to be less than 40,000. However, those prestigious universities, Harvard, Stanford, like a lot of those, ladies and gentlemen, they're free. If your house, because I was doing that with my seventh graders, I believe it was, I don't know if it was like $70,000 or something like that. You guys can look it up at those universities. But if your household income is less than that, if you guys get accepted into those universities, they pay for all your college. They'll pay for your tuition, your fees, because there's also fees associated with it. Like the gym, like the football team and all the basketball team. Yeah, well, guess what? Where they work out, there's a fee that all the students pay for, whether you use it or not. It's like at UTEP, I didn't know my last year there, I was paying for, the recreational fee? Because UTEP in the back, they have like this awesome, like this, I don't even want to call it a gym, like this whole facility where they have an indoor pool, they have indoor tennis rackets or tennis courts, whatever. And they have like, basketball courts. They even have little gym classes. And I was like, they have treadmills. They have a track, an indoor track. And on the treadmills, they have like direct TV and everything. And I'm like, I only found that out my last year. But anyways, I always saw that fee, the recreation fee. Anyways, but what I'm trying to show you, kiddos, if you guys bust your butts, if you guys look into it now, you guys can get all that paid for and take advantage of that. But anyways, let's keep going here. Oops. All right, so that's one. Savings is just like money that you set aside. Let's say your parents put $20 a month, or $100 a month, whatever they're able to, or out of every income tax they put $200 into an account or something. That's savings. And the good thing is, if you guys get grants or scholarships, that savings is yours. Well, assuming they give it to you, but anyways, scholarships are just different things that you guys like. The valedictorian or the top student with the highest GPA at universities, I think they get scholarships to different universities, and they pretty much get accepted to most universities that they want, most of the time. Loans, unfortunately, sometimes I would advise against them, but if you guys have nothing else, sometimes it's, in my opinion, okay, it's better to maybe get a loan just to finish school faster. That way you can earn more money sooner and then pay that off. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that go overboard. with that's something that you guys have to look into as well. And work studies, like when you guys work at UTEP or you guys work at that university, let's say just doing different things, like you work with, like, I don't know, like delivering mail to the professors, or you work, in a lab, helping clean, I don't know, well, probably not that, but, doing different things at school. That's called work study. But those are all different ways of paying for college. So hopefully that was able to give you guys a little more insight. And depending on the qualifications are different for everything in it. It varies from university to university. This is some of the samples that the book said. See the way it says samples? Because like I said, kiddos, it's different. Remember how I told you guys that the UTEP promise if your household earns less than $40,000 here in El Paso? At Texas Tech, it's called the Red Raider Guarantee. At UT Austin, I can't remember what it's called, but it's something else. But I mean, it's similar, just different. Let's see, reflect number one. Which methods would you choose to pay for college? Oh, of course, scholarships or grants. I mean, that would be awesome right there, man. But I mean, because you don't have to pay it off like when you graduate. But my suggestion is to start looking into it now, because a lot of those like scholarships, it's free money. But sometimes if you guys look at the applications, it's not just about like, oh, you know what I mean? Did you have high grades? No, it's not just about that. And that's what I used to think. But until my students, they started doing research and they told me, oh, look at this, mister. I'm like, wow. A lot of those ask you, what have you done in your community? What have you done, to make, the world a better place? In your free time, what did you do? What organizations can vouch for you or, talk about you? You know what I mean? It's like, what activities have you participated outside of school? And that's why I'm suggesting, like, volunteer. While a lot of you guys are playing video games and this and that, a lot of your other classmates are volunteering. And other places where I've taught at other schools, kiddos, what I would do, instead of giving kids referrals or writing them up or giving them disciplinary actions, I call the parents, because that goes on your record now. I would call the parents and I say, you know what? Your son or daughter was doing this. Instead of writing them up, which will go on the record and affect their eligibility for scholarships or grants and stuff like that, or even acceptance into universities, if they go volunteer somewhere and they get signatures, and you know what? I'll take that into consideration. So, and I would do that because with the intention that when they were applying for scholarships, they would say, yeah, I volunteered here, I volunteered there. And hopefully also mention that it was because of me or because the teacher asked them to. But if they did it, oh well, right? As long as that helped them out. Anyways, so I'm giving you guys a lot of information because this is important. Explaining different methods to pay for college. Websites are a common tool for sharing information. Website designers sometimes create a storyboard to plan and organize the information they want to include in the website. Complete the storyboard for a website to help others learn about different ways to pay for college. Include a brief description and a benefit for each method listed on the storyboard. And hopefully, when you guys were doing your research, kiddos, you guys were able to find a lot of this information. So these are just some of the samples that were given by the book. So I'd like for you guys to go ahead and take some time to read this on your own, okay? As you guys are reading, see that federal Pell Grant, that helped me out a lot, kiddos. Like, honestly, that helped me out a lot. Unfortunately, I didn't go to school right away from high school. I always said I'm going to go to the military, but then when I went for the physical to try to join the military, part of the physical is like they have you guys walk, like kind of duck walk. It sounds funny, no? But I mean, depending on the positions, that's important. And either if you're flat-footed, that kind of eliminates you. I don't know if that's still the case, but I wasn't flat-footed. The thing is that I was in sports, and I suffered an injury in football. And let's say Mr. Lucero was stubborn and didn't finish his therapy. Yeah. So let's say when I was trying to do a duck walk, it kind of impacted me. It hurt me. I couldn't do it. So yeah, that kind of, affected me. So just keep that in mind, kiddos, okay? I mean, I support, those of you guys who want to be sports stars, I support you, but just make sure that you guys follow through your therapies and make sure that you guys go through that, okay? Savings, I wish my family would have saved for me for college, but I was adamant about going to the military. Scholarships, well, let's say I really didn't know about those things. My teachers never really encouraged me. I was just seen as as a talkative, energetic young guy. That most of them encouraged me to go to the military instead of going to colleges, even if I was in pre-AP math and all that. Interesting. Anyways, loans, unfortunately, because of my failure to plan, kiddos, I have quite a bit of loans. Yeah, I have about $50,000 in loans. Not that I wanted to, but it was just, I didn't qualify for a lot of the aid later on in my life. Okay? So hopefully I helped you guys out, kiddos. Now moving on. Solving problems about paying for college. Many students use a combination of methods to pay for college. Example number one. 1 year of classes at the University of North Texas costs $10,000. Mariano has received a grant that will pay 500 and a scholarship for 4,500. He wants to get a job to pay 25% of the remainder of the cost and hopes to get a loan to cover the rest of the cost for 1 year. How much does he need to earn on his job and how much will he need to borrow? And they're giving you guys the steps. So analyze the information. Rewrite the question as a statement. Find the amount Mariano will need to make to earn 25% of the cost of 1 year of classes after deducting the grant and scholarship. Which means if it costs you $10,000, you have to subtract the grant that he's going to get and also the scholarship because that's going to be the remaining balance that he's going to owe. So he's going to need to pay $5,000 of that. So, and that's what they're basically going over here. So he needs to get a job to cover 25% of that cost. And here they're saying formulate a plan. What is he going to do? Add his grant and scholarship and subtract his expenses from his expenses to find the amount he needs. Then find 25% of that amount. Then that is what he needs to earn. And see, that's what kind of I just explained it now, kiddos, okay? So his remaining balance that he's going to owe is $5,000 after you subtract the grant and the scholarship. So he's going to find a job to pay 25% of that, which you have to find what 25% of 5,000 is, which is 1,250, which you see right there. And that kind of just, goes on a little further in depth. Let's keep going here. Sorry, because I was talking a little too much, so yeah. Let me see. So number 3, you're on your turn. So number 3, Angela is attending the University of Texas, where the tuition is $12,000 a year. She has a scholarship that pays $6,000 and a grant for $1,000. She also has a job at the campus bookstore. If her job pays her $50 every day that she works, how many days would she need to work to pay for 50% of the remaining amount? I'd like for y'all to go ahead and try that one, please. And you guys can look back at this previous example and go through the steps and how they solved it to help you solve number 3. Alrighty, kiddos. So to answer number 3, we know that her total cost is going to be $12,000. That's what they told us. So, however, she's going to get a scholarship for $6,000 and a grant for $1,000. So you get the $12,000 it's going to cost per year. You subtract the scholarship and the grant that she's going to get. So she's going to owe $5,000. However, she's going to get a job that's going to pay 50% of that, which is half. So half of 5,000 is 2,500, which you divide by the job that's going to pay her $50 per day. And ladies and gentlemen, when you guys solve for that, you're going to see that's going to take her 50 days. So she's going to have to work 50 days at a job that pays her $50 every day to be able to pay 50% of the remaining amount of her tuition or for her first year at least, at University of Texas. And kiddos, I hope you guys really like this lesson because I think this is very important. I know most of you guys are just, probably just playing video games all day and all that, but before you know it, kiddos, time flies. And, you can do both. You can play video games, go outside, whatever, do what y'all are going to do, but take care of business first as well. It won't be easy, trust me, but I assure you there are kids who are doing that. And I know you guys know of other kiddos who are doing that. Because think about it. When you guys start applying for scholarships and grants and all that, those other classmates, or not only classmates, but in all the world, to be honest with you, that's your competition, ladies and gentlemen, because scholarships aren't for everybody. I mean, I can't say for everybody. I wish there was a scholarship for everybody, but sometimes there's only one scholarship to go around. And I'm being serious. Unfortunately, remember I was telling you guys that Yale, Stanford, USC, a lot of these universities are free if your household earns less than $60,000. Well, guess what? Less than half the students that get accepted are Americans. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying, because that just kind of gives you guys an idea of while you guys are playing video games and all that, or TikToking or whatever, around the world, that isn't always the case, okay? Anyways, kiddos, hopefully you guys like this lesson and hopefully it helps you guys out, okay?